Your season of waiting is over. Can you feel it? A new dawn is breaking, a new season is here. The long night of worry and uncertainty is finally lifting. This is your time for blessings, for joy, for the fulfillment of God's promises in your life. Just as spring follows winter, your season of abundance is here. It's time to shake off the dust of yesterday's disappointments and step into the warmth of God's love. He has seen your tears, heard your prayers, and He is ready to move mightily on your behalf. Embrace this new chapter with open arms and a heart full of expectancy. Your breakthrough is here. Your miracle is on the way. Your season of waiting is over. Your season of victory has begun. We've all been there, stuck in the waiting room of life. We wait for healing, for a breakthrough in our finances, for that special someone to come along. Waiting can be one of life's most challenging experiences. It tests our faith, stretches our patience, and sometimes even tempts us to despair. But even in the waiting, God is at work. He is using this time to strengthen your faith, to prepare you for the blessings He has in store, and to draw you closer to Him. Remember, God's timing is perfect, even when we don't understand it. The Bible is full of stories of people who waited on God and saw His faithfulness in their lives. Abraham waited for a son, Joseph waited in prison, and David waited to become king. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to your blessings. It is the unseen force that moves mountains and makes the impossible possible. When you hold on to faith, you are holding on to the very essence of hope and trust. This key, though small and often overlooked, has the power to open doors that no man can shut. It is the key that fits perfectly into the lock of your destiny, turning with a gentle yet firm assurance that what lies beyond is meant for you. It is the compass that guides you through the darkness of waiting. Just as a compass points true north, faith directs your steps even when the path is shrouded in uncertainty. In the darkest of nights, when the stars seem hidden and the way forward is unclear, faith shines as a beacon illuminating the way. It whispers to your soul, urging you to take one more step, to keep moving forward even when you cannot see the end. This compass, though weathered and worn, remains steadfast, always pointing you towards the light, and leads you into the light of God's promises. The dawn always follows the night, and with each step of faith you draw closer to the fulfillment of His promises. The light breaking through the clouds is a reminder that no matter how long the night, the morning will come. As you walk towards the sunrise, you are walking towards the manifestation of every promise He has made. Each ray of light is a testament to His faithfulness, a promise that He will never leave you nor forsake you. When you trust in God, even when you don't see the way, you are demonstrating a faith that pleases Him. This trust is not blind, it is rooted in the knowledge of His character and His love for you. It is a faith that says, "I may not understand, but I believe." It is in these moments of uncertainty that your faith grows stronger, deepening your relationship with Him. Your prayers, whispered in the quiet moments, are a testament to this trust, a declaration that you believe in His goodness and His plan for your life. Hebrews 11:1 tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This verse encapsulates the very essence of faith. It is the foundation upon which your hopes are built, the proof of what you cannot yet see. It is the assurance that what you are believing for is already on its way. As you read these words, let them sink into your heart, reminding you that faith is not just a concept, but a living, breathing force that shapes your reality. What are you hoping for today? What dreams have you placed in the hands of God, trusting that He will bring them to pass? Each hope, each dream is a seed planted in the fertile soil of faith. As you look up at the sky, let your heart be filled with anticipation, knowing that the One who holds the stars also holds your dreams. Your dream board is not just a collection of wishes, but a visual representation of your faith in action. What blessings are you believing God for? Each blessing you seek is a testament to your faith in His provision. As you stand with arms raised, you are opening yourself up to receive all that He has for you. Your open hands are a symbol of your readiness to accept his blessings, a declaration that you trust in his timing and his ways. In this posture of anticipation, you are aligning yourself with his will, ready to receive the abundance he has promised. Hold on to that hope, nurture that faith, for it is the very thing that will carry you through to your victory. In times of trial and uncertainty, your faith is your lifeline, the rope that keeps you anchored. As you clasp your hands tightly together, you are holding on to the promises of God, refusing to let go. This act of holding on is not just a physical gesture, but a spiritual one, a declaration that you will not be moved by circumstances. Your victory is assured, not because of your strength, but because of your unwavering faith. Remember, faith is not the absence of fear, but believing in God even when you are afraid. It is standing strong in the midst of the storm, knowing that he is with you. As you look out over the cliff, you are reminded that he is your rock, your fortress, and your deliverer. Your faith does not eliminate fear, but it gives you the courage to face it, to stand firm in the knowledge that he is in control. In the face of the storm, your faith becomes your shield, protecting you from the winds of doubt and despair. It's about trusting his heart, even when you don't understand his plan. His ways are higher than your ways, and his thoughts are higher than your thoughts. As you hold the heart-shaped object, let it remind you of his love for you, a love that is perfect and unfailing. Even when the path is unclear, you can trust that his heart is for you, that his plans are for your good. This trust is not based on understanding, but on a deep, abiding relationship with him. Your faith is your greatest weapon in the waiting room of life. In the moments of waiting, when it seems like nothing is happening, your faith is at work. It is in these times that your faith is tested and strengthened. As you sit with a serene expression, you are demonstrating a quiet confidence in his timing. Your determined look as you hold the Bible is a testament to your unwavering belief in his promises. The waiting room is not a place of inactivity, but a place of preparation, where your faith is refined and your trust in him is deepened. I'll be honest, there have been times in my own life when God felt distant, when the silence was almost deafening. It was as if the heavens had closed their doors, and I was left standing outside, knocking and waiting for an answer that never seemed to come. In those moments, his voice seemed silent, like a whisper lost in the wind. I would sit in the quiet of the church, hoping to hear even the faintest echo of his presence, but all I felt was the emptiness of the space around me. The weight of my burdens felt unbearable, like I was carrying the world on my shoulders. Each step I took felt heavier than the last, and the path ahead seemed endless and steep. I remember one season in particular, a time when everything seemed to be falling apart. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, yet the silence remained. I would look at old photographs, reminiscing about better times, wondering if I would ever feel that joy again. I was facing a personal crisis, one that shook me to my core. It felt like the ground beneath me was crumbling, and I was desperately trying to hold on to something, anything, to keep from falling. I cried out to God day and night, my prayers filled with desperation and longing. I would kneel beside my bed, tears streaming down my face, pleading for a sign, a word, anything to let me know that he was there. But it felt like my prayers were hitting a ceiling, bouncing back to me with no response. The silence was maddening, and I began to question everything I had ever believed. The enemy would whisper doubts in my ear, filling my mind with lies and fears. He would tell me that God didn't care, that I was alone in my suffering, and that my faith was in vain. Telling me that God didn't care, that he had forgotten about me. Those whispers would echo in my mind, growing louder with each passing day, until I could hardly hear my own thoughts. I would look up at the sky with a pleading expression, searching for a glimpse of hope, a sign that I was not abandoned. But the darkness seemed to close in around me, and I felt more alone than ever. But I clung to the truth of God's word, holding my Bible tightly as if it were a lifeline. I would read the promises written within its pages, reminding myself that he is close to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit, which tells me that he is close to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit. I found comfort in those words even when I couldn't feel his presence. I held on to the hope that he was with me, even in the silence, and saves the crushed in spirit. Looking back, I realized that even in that season of silence, God was working behind the scenes. He was there, orchestrating events in ways I couldn't see or understand at the time. I realized that even in that season of silence, God was working behind the scenes. He was moving pieces into place, preparing me for what was to come. The clouds of doubt and despair were slowly parting, revealing a path I hadn't noticed before. God was working behind the scenes, planting seeds of faith and hope in my heart. He was nurturing those seeds, even when I couldn't see any growth. It was a time of preparation, a time of quiet growth and strengthening. He was strengthening my faith, building my spiritual muscles for the challenges ahead. Each trial, each moment of silence was a part of his divine training program designed to make me stronger and more resilient, teaching me dependence on him, showing me that I could trust him even when I couldn't hear him. It was in those silent moments that I learned the true meaning of faith, of trusting in his goodness and his plan for my life, and preparing me for a greater level of breakthrough. The silence was not a sign of his absence, but a part of his greater plan. It was the calm before the storm of blessings that were about to pour into my life. Looking back, I see that those silent seasons were some of the most important times in my spiritual journey, shaping me into the person I am today. Waiting is never wasted time with God. It may feel like an eternity, but in those moments of stillness, we are given the opportunity to grow closer to Him. We often find ourselves in a rush, wanting immediate answers and quick solutions, but God's timing is perfect, and His plans are far greater than our own. It is in the waiting that we learn valuable lessons about ourselves and about the nature of our God. We discover the depths of our faith and the strength of our spirit. We come to understand that waiting is not a passive state, but an active period of preparation and growth. In these times, we delve deeper into His Word, seeking comfort and guidance. We learn patience, perseverance, and the importance of surrendering our will to His. Patience teaches us to endure hardships with grace, knowing that God is with us every step of the way. Perseverance builds our character, making us resilient in the face of trials. Surrendering our will allows us to let go of our desires and trust in His divine plan. During those times of waiting, God is refining our character, making us more like Him. Just as a potter shapes clay, He molds us through our experiences, trials, and tribulations. Each moment of waiting is a stroke of His hand, crafting us into vessels of His love and grace. The blacksmith's forge and the sculptor's chisel are metaphors for the ways God shapes our lives, removing impurities and revealing our true potential. He is teaching us to rely not on our own understanding, but to trust in His perfect plan. Our human perspective is limited, but God sees the bigger picture. He knows what lies ahead and prepares us for the journey. Trusting in His plan means letting go of our fears and doubts and embracing the path He has laid out for us. It is a journey of faith where each step brings us closer to His promises. He is showing us that He is faithful, even when it seems like nothing is happening. In the stillness, God is at work, orchestrating events and aligning circumstances for our good. The blooming flower and the rising sun are reminders of His faithfulness and the beauty that comes in His time. The flickering candle in the darkness symbolizes hope and the light of His presence in our lives. Isaiah 64 verse 8 says, "Yet you, Lord, are our Father." This verse reassures us of our relationship with God, reminding us that we are His children, loved and cared for. It is a powerful reminder of His role as our Creator and Sustainer. We are the clay, you are the potter, we are all the work of your hand. This imagery of the potter and the clay illustrates our dependence on God and His sovereignty over our lives. As the potter shapes the clay, so does God shape us with intention and purpose. Each curve and contour is a testament to His craftsmanship and love. Allow God to mold you, to shape you, and to prepare you for the blessings He has in store. Embrace the waiting, for it is in these moments that we are transformed. Look to the horizon with hope, knowing that God's promises are true. Release your worries and fears like a dove into the sky and trust in His unfailing love. The journey of waiting is a sacred one, filled with lessons that draw us closer to Him and prepare us for the future He has planned. The waiting is over. It's time to step out of the shadows of yesterday and into the sunlight of God's promises. It's time to shake off the dust of disappointment and embrace the new beginnings He has for you. Take a deep breath, lift your head high, and step into the destiny that God has prepared for you. He is calling you forth into a season of abundance, of joy, of victory. He has not forgotten you, and He is faithful to complete the good work He has begun in your life. Just as a butterfly emerges from its cocoon, transformed and beautiful, you too are emerging from your season of waiting stronger, wiser, and ready to soar to new heights.